right now. She'll be fighting in the co-main event in Invicta Fighting Championships this coming Saturday night from Kansas City, Kansas in Memorial Hall. She'll be facing Elisa Ellis Ward. Jessica Penny is on the line. Jessica, thank you for a couple minutes today. How's everything going?
Great, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on today. And for the fans that don't know a lot about you, Jessica, can you tell the fans about yourself?
As far as fighting goes?
Just as far as your fight career, yeah.
I have an MMA record of 8-1, and I also compete jiu-jitsu. I've done shoe boxing over in Japan. Been competing for about 5 years now. Previously 115 and, did catch weights in between there, but now I have a home at 105 with Invicta.
Now, describe what is the difference between the women's scene in Japan and the women's scene here in the United States?
In Japan, there are, I think, a lot more competitors, and especially in my weight class, it's a lot more popular. There's, I think, a lot more frequency in competition as well as there is in the States.
Now, let's talk about how is, in the 5 years your career has gone on, what is it like from when it first started for the women and now to the point now that we're going to get the first All-Pro women's card coming up on Saturday?
I think that it's been difficult for women's MMA just because there really hasn't been any consistency. There haven't really been any shows putting women fights on, and so it's been difficult to be consistent and get fights. But with Invicta, I think that we'll see a lot more consistency in that weight class. This will help get rid of the catch weights that everybody's doing, so everybody will be able to compete in their natural weight classes.
How difficult, because I know in talking to a bunch of, variety of different female fighters, and it is the one consistent thing that they have said is that it's hard to get fights at a particular weight class. It's always, like you said, you always have to fight at a catch weight. Very rarely do they get fights at their natural weight class. How difficult is that for a fighter to when you fight, the weight class you're fighting in, and then they go, can you fight at 110? Oh, can you go fight at 115? Oh, can you go fight at 120? How difficult is that for a fighter? Do they have to always change up the weight class and they can't fight in their own natural weight class?
It's extremely difficult. I think, people's records would be different if they could fight at their own weight class. Obviously size and weight makes a big difference when you're competing. So I think it's great that Invicta is giving, each weight class a good talent pool to fight with. So I think it'll make a big difference.
Jessica Penny, right here on SportsTownChicago.com, talking about her fight at Invicta Fighting Championships this coming Saturday night out in Kansas City, Kansas. Now, you fought a couple fights for Bellator. Were you still under contract with them before you took the fight with Invicta?
No, I wasn't.
Now, because there are a lot of different fighters, Bellator and also from Strikeforce. Is it good for women's MMA that, you're going to have one big promotion, but you also have the blessing of Bellator and the blessing from Zuffa to allow their female fighters to come fight for this organization, considering there isn't a lot of available fights for women?
I think it's great that they'll put the women on, but I think it's unfortunate that, we have to fight for spots and, most likely end up on the undercard where our fights aren't going to be seen, and people don't really get really see what women have to offer for the sport. So Invicta, the promotion really believes in women's MMA and genuinely wants to see it do well. So I think that they offer that, whereas other shows just kind of, put us on and want to headline, one or two individuals.
Is that what separates Invicta from the other promotions, in your mind?
Absolutely. I really think that they want to see women's MMA grow, and they believe in it, and they want to help it, and I think that the people behind it are the people to do it.
Why do you think other promotions have been hesitant to give the females the spots that they do deserve?
I don't think that they see all of complete weight classes. There still aren't a lot of women competitors, but I think if there was a steady show putting on, consistent fights, that it would give women the opportunity.
Jessica Penny, right here on SportsTownChicago.com. Let's talk about your opponent. What do you know about Lisa Ellis Ward?
Lisa's been around for a while. She's been competing for a long time. She's fought a lot of, top fighters, and I know she's a tough girl. She has a wrestling background, and I'm really looking forward to the challenge.
What do you see in her game that you can take advantage of?
I don't know what her game plan against me is, and I think the great thing about MMA is that, you have to be prepared for anything and everything, so you really never know what's going to happen, and I really love that about the sport. So I'm prepared for anything and willing to go wherever the fight goes.
What is the one thing about women's MMA that you feel needs to get to that next level?
Again, I think that, they need a show that really believes in them and wants to support them, and will put on consistent shows for women to, progress in the sport. I think that women need the opportunity to have belts in each weight class to really legitimize each weight class. So I'm really looking forward to what Invicta has to offer.
Are you in Kansas City yet, by any chance?
No, I'm not. I'm heading over there Thursday.
Now, what is the feeling like to be a part of something like this? Because this is, I talked to Shannon Knapp yesterday, and this is the first all-pro card. So how does this feel to be a part of something historical for the sport?
It's an amazing feeling. I'm honored to, have the spot, especially at the co-main event with Lisa Ward. I couldn't ask for anything more. It's really exciting, and I'm just really, really blessed to be a part of it.
Jessica, how can the fans get a hold of you?
They can follow me on Twitter and Facebook.
Where can they find you on Twitter?
Pardon me?
Where can they find you on Twitter?
My name is Jessica Penny.
Who would you like to thank today?
I'd like to thank all my coaches and training partners, everybody at Rain Training Center, Kings MMA, Black House MMA, and Check Matt Mahabra. I just want to say thank you very much for all their support, all their patience, and I love them.
How do you see the fight playing out on Saturday?
I have no idea. You'll have to tune in and watch.
Jessica, this was definitely a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking a couple minutes from your day today. The best of luck to you on Saturday night, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.